till, we have till 1. We got plenty of time. So along the way, probably not very many people know that companies like Kodak and AT&T tried to acquire Sun, and Sun talked about several times buying Apple, and Apple wanted to be bought, and so on and so on. I think it's a fascinating story. I probably don't know of all of them, but one I'm aware of was a very close encounter, Scott, between you and Ross Perot. Would you tell us about that story and the lessons learned? Think back, Ross Perot. Well, I can't even do the Texas accent. We'll just jack it up and replace the engine. You don't got your cranky old aunt in the closet. And he was running EDS, and they controlled General Motors CAD purchases. Set the stage.
So this is pre-public.
About to go public.
Like 1985, we were trying to get some cash. We were using cash because we were growing very quickly, but we weren't really mature as an organization, so delaying the IPO would have been a good thing. In fact, I wish we'd delayed it about 30 years. But so John and I said to John, I said, EDS is a natural. IBM is their enemy, and they could be a huge channel for us. And, I want to go. And you told me Mort Meyerson is the COO, and he's the guy to go meet. So I called Mort Meyerson's office, and they said, well, you can't meet for months. I go, I don't have months. And they said, well, he's going to be walking through the lobby of a D.C. hotel at about 2:30 in the afternoon. You might try and track him down then. So John, as just an all-world board member, says, let's go. So we flew out, United, and tried not to eat the food, and showed up. And we went running around D.C. We went jogging. We didn't have enough. We got there early, and he wasn't going to be there until 2:30. So we're sitting there, and I'm on the phone calling back to the office, and John runs up to me in the lobby of the hotel and says, hey, there's a huddle of people, and I heard one guy say, hey, Mort, it must be him. So I just left the phone. It's hanging like this. I can still see it. We ran, and I ran up to him, and I said, are you Mort Meyerson? And he goes, yeah. I go, I'm Scott McNealy. This is John Doerr saying, we have a meeting. What are you talking about? I said, well, we flew all the way up. I'm not meeting. I said, I'm booked till 10:30 at night. I said, book. So he could see the hurt puppy. I mean, I was just crying. We flew all the way. He says, come to my room at 10:30. So we went to music. I don't know what we did all afternoon. So at 10:30, John and I knock on his door at night, up in this hotel, and we go and we sit down with him, explain to him the story, what we're up to, and he says, I'll buy 20% of the company at a stunning valuation. It was like $100 million you're going to put in or something.
The IPO price, I think.
Yeah, it was off the charts, and we're like this. He goes, let's go meet Ross tomorrow. So you and I go back. We rent a room. We spend the night there. I don't think we had clothes for a couple of days, but we flew on the General Motors Air Force to Detroit to a hangar with Mort and talked to us, and he's so fired up, and he's all excited. And so he says, let me go get Ross. So he puts us in a little conference room, and Ross comes in, and he says, hi, how y'all doing? And he goes, he does this he goes, so where are y'all based? And he said, I said, California. And I could hear the little guy behind him going, Steve Reich one. And he said, where'd y'all go to school? I said, mainly Berkeley and Stanford. Steve Reich. Steve Reich too. Yeah. I probably mentioned Harvard. Harvard, Stanford, Berkeley, And then he goes, so any of y'all married? And I think at the time you weren't. And I said, well, one of them used to be. Because I knew we just weren't heading down and I heard, Steve Reich, get out of here! He quietly gets up and says, thanks, very nice to meet you, runs out, and Mort chases after him, and I'm looking at John. You can remember this, right? And the quote can't go out of this room, but Mort comes back about a half hour. I said, it's over, it's done, it ain't going to happen. He said, there's no way Ross is going to give his money to a bunch of dope, smoking, hippie, alternate lifestyle types. That's not an exact quote. And he says, there's no turning him around, so we flew home.
The funny part, the story afterwards, was that did end up investing $20 million in Next Computers, which Steve wasn't married either, was California-based, and obviously that company never went anywhere.